Oh, g'day folks, TK Tex here on January 26th, which is Australia Day here in Australia. So I've just fueled up, got the bike suitably adorned for the day, which is a public holiday. This is the Wednesday, so I've taken the day off. And what I'm going to do today is give you a bit of a look at Brisbane CBD. This one particularly from my friend Carlos. Talento or HDTalento, two channels he's got over there in Spain, does some fantastic videos on those. And I had promised him I'd do this one earlier before it rained, but since then we've not only had rain, we've had floods as well, so hopefully this will be a good opportunity to get this one done for you. Okay, we'll get on the road. Okay, well once we pop over this hill, that's basically the end of the burbs, and we are pretty much into Brisbane Central Business District. What we've got there over on the right is an area called Snug Harbour, which is quite a posh, well-to-do little place. And what we're going to do here is cross a bridge, which is one of the iconic sort of landmarks in Brisbane. This is the Story Bridge, and straight across the Brisbane River, which was the one that gave us all that trouble just a few weeks ago. This is basically sort of right into the guts of the city now, and I guess most people are on the public holiday, so hopefully it shouldn't be too busy. And this is coming up onto the riverfront. This is a really pretty area they call the waterfront. I absolutely love this old building here. This is, I believe, the old Maritime Services building, and they built that out of stone that they basically pulled out of Kangaroo Point, which is on the other side of the river there. And again, this whole area we're going through is part of the Brisbane CBD that was badly affected by the floods. They're probably still pumping a lot of the water and various other horrible things out of the basements and the car parks around here, the underground car parks and whatnot. And while it's getting cleaned up very quickly, you can probably see the roads are still looking a bit shabby. That was all flooded. Some really nice restaurants here overlooking the waterfront. I'll see if I can get a parking spot. Charger! Boy, were they ever popular. Knight. Oh, Knight Rider. That was a really popular car here back in the 70s. That was the car I wanted to have. A couple of mates of mine ended up getting them when we were a little bit older. Yeah, classic. And these are some of the sort of nice hotels and restaurants you get along here. This is the Stanford over there. I've stopped there a few times. Police. This is the botanical gardens that sit beside the river. Well, this is the shore of the Brisbane River, just beside the botanical gardens here, and quite a few people have their boats moored just off into the river. And these are a lot of the ones too that were in danger of getting washed down with the tide. These are some of the bicycles that are tied up next to this little pontoon here, and you can even see where the floodwaters come up and just left a lot of stuff in the spokes of the wheels and what have you. All the seats and leatherwork are pretty badly damaged. And this is the view going back the other way towards the city. And these are a lot of the waterfront buildings that were badly affected. That floodwater came right up above the pathway there. Some of the boardwalks actually got carried right away with the tide and headed downstream. Yep, a lot of these buildings are still shut down. Some are still operating, but some of the water got into them fairly seriously, and a lot of them still don't have power. And some nice bikes and scooters. And this is Charlotte Street. Brisbane's pretty much on a grid system, and all of the streets that run along in basically the direction of the Brisbane River have girls' names, Charlotte, Mary, all that sort of stuff. And then you've got boys' names and various other names. That one's George Street, that's one of the big streets in Brisbane. And what we're coming up to as well, you can see from this relatively old sandstone building, there's the Treasury Casino. And that's this building here, one of the big casinos. Certainly nothing to put the Monaco casino out of business, but that's a very popular one here for people who like to play roulette and various other forms of gaming. And there we have Bridge Street Mall, and this is all part of the transit centre. So we have a big coach terminal there, and the big railway station for people coming in and visiting from interstate and what have you. Yeah, so there it is, the Brisbane Transit Centre. Some quite pretty parklands they've just recently been developing here. This used to be a fairly cruddy looking area, and the developers have moved in, but fortunately the local councils and government and what have you are making sure there's plenty of green spaces left. That's our old town hall building. And onto the terraces. Brisbane and basically the whole of the Brisbane area, it's a very hilly area, forever up and down hills, which I actually found quite helpful when I first moved here, because you could get your bearings real easy. Brisbane Grammar. And the Aquatic Centre. And this is a nice old building by our standards. It's important to remember too, in Australia we've really only been under white settlement for about 230 odd years. So these sorts of buildings here, which are relatively modern in Europe and the States and other places that have got a bit more history to them, that's the oldest we've got, and they tend to look after them. Okay, well this is the Brisbane Showgrounds and exhibition centres and what have you, and quite a lot of fun I've had at various different expos and conventions there. Came here a few months ago for Oktoberfest actually, that was a lot of fun. All the girls dressed up in their German costumes and drinking big pots of beer and everything, that was great. And this is quite a really old part of Brisbane, quite historic. This is coming into Fortitude Valley, and when I first came to Brisbane I actually used to work here. A lot of fond memories of Fortitude Valley actually. I still have to come here sometimes for work anyway, but this is kind of like a real mishmash type of place, I guess. It's sort of like the miniature Vienna of Brisbane. A lot of really bohemian sort of people living around the area, a lot of businesses as well. A lot of really great pubs and cafes and eateries. They've got a couple of malls here which I'll give you a quick drive by. A couple of big, really big car dealerships here. Big Mercedes one, BMW. And here's the sort of trendy little part where you get a lot of the nightclubs and what have you. Come up here on a Thursday or Friday, Saturday night, and all the young people are jumping up and down and making all sorts of horrible noises. Cafes. And this sort of next section here where these buses are disappearing to is basically Chinatown. So there's not a lot of it, but there's some great restaurants and places to eat along there. One of the big old churches there behind this old pub. I believe that's one of the big Catholic churches there. Really old historic pub here on the corner. Very typical of the sort of buildings you'll see out in rural Queensland. That's the town hall again. Been to a few functions and whatnot in there. It's quite nice inside. I know they were restoring it. I don't think they've quite finished yet. But they've certainly been blasting the sand back, because that's a lot cleaner than I've seen it for a long time. Alright, well, it looks like they've got the Wheel of Brisbane going again. The whole base of that was underwater a few weeks ago. And that's the Performing Arts Complex and the art gallery on this side. And again, this is one of the roads, this road we're on here. I came walking along here that couple of weekends ago, and a lot of the power was still out to this. Quite a few of the buildings along here, that's the Wheel of Brisbane. The water was right up where I am now, well past it into these buildings. They were still pumping out a lot of the basements and a lot of the car parks and all of that when I came through, no power on at all. And the smell was very similar to that of going to a really big rubbish tip. So much stuff got washed down with that flood water. And pardon me, this is South Bank. As I say, I have shown you a bit of this before, but it's good to see it starting to jump again, I tell you. It's such a lovely place. Well, there you go, there's one for all you cruiser lovers. What a beautiful bike.
Well, Carlos, I hope you enjoyed that one, mate. A little bit of a look at Brisbane, just a cook's tour around the place. Not a really big city, but I really enjoy living here. It's great. So I hope you and your family enjoyed that one. Also, I'll send a shout out to my friend Alberto in Spain, Trucker Nation. Hope you enjoyed it too, mate. And yeah, we'll see you all in the next one. Cheers.